Ladies and gentlemen, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but a couple of bad things are occurring in the Bitcoin chart right now. Fortunately, there is still hope. It's not over. It's not the end of the world. This could be a fake out. We could see a reversal very shortly. And also we have the cycle at play still. So there are some good signs. I still remain macro bullish, but we do have some bad signs as well. We need to look into those bad signs. Bad signs, as you can see in the chart right here, it's very self-explanatory. A wedge formation looking like it's potentially breaking down here. We have the same thing with the 50 simple moving average. Luckily, we have not got daily close confirmation as of yet, but getting a little bit dodgy. And then we look into a price chart, like the regular price chart. We zoom right into the Bitcoin chart and we see that critical level I talked about yesterday very extensively at 115.7K. is looking like it's breaking down. In fact, breaking down with a potential resistance support flip happening. Now, as I said before, we don't have the confirmations yet on the daily chart, and we do still have some hope that we could swing back to the upside. Here we are right on top of the 50 SMA. We can fake out below this level. We've done it before, but this is getting choppy. We need to discuss the situation on Bitcoin and also how that relates to Ethereum and how that relates to the macro resistance zones and the broader cycle as a whole. So a big encompassing question that emerges here is it time to de-risk and buy back when the charts look better? And we'll answer that question in this video today. Before we get into it, check out the Bitunix Exchange. It's global, it's non-KYC. You can sign up from anywhere in the world with just an email address and a password. There are no restrictions. That's very rare on an exchange these days, and it's even rarer to find an exchange like that that has never been hacked before. That's reliable, has a good safety track record, has reserves information available, and has everything you'd expect on a major exchange for the same price and even cheaper with my referral link down below. So sign up with my link down below, get a 15% trading fee discount attached to your account for life, help out the channel and help out yourself. There's a reason I advertise this exchange. It's because I use it personally. That's how much I like it. So check out that link down below. Let's get into the content. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go over the things that are bad that are happening right now. And then I'm going to give you the kind of optimistic take, because I think even though bad things are occurring, I think optimism is warranted given where we are in the cycle right now. But I don't want to, blind you with optimism either. I think the mindset to be in right now is basically cautious optimism, as long as we're above 109,000 USD specifically. If we drop below that level, that's when we start to flip into outright fear. And I'll justify that claim in this video, as I've done previously, just with the new context of his short-term breakdown. I will be completely transparent as well. Over the last 24 hours, I have de-risked on some of my positions until the market looks clearer and stronger on a short-term basis. I'm not comfortable holding as much as I was, but I don't like publicizing my personal positions too much because it's based on, obviously, personal circumstances, and that's more nuanced than just TA. But that is something I would like to just disclose as we get into this video, because I think it adds kind of context to how I'm looking at this situation. I am still macro bullish. I do still believe there is more fuel in the tank for the broader market. I do stand by that as per the cycle. But this situation here is a little bit eyebrow raising, I will say. Not detrimental yet, however. And that's what we'll get into right now. So various levels have come up on the Bitcoin chart, which I see as important levels. First and foremost, the basis for Bitcoin price action, the foundation through which bullish moves will be built on, in my view, is 109,000 to 112,000. As long as that level holds, I don't think we are in a macro bearish market environment. In fact, I would be, I wouldn't even necessarily be fully convinced we're in a macro bear market. Even if that broke, I would be convinced we're doing something really, really strange. But in terms of an actual macro bear market, there's no chance here that we're in a bear market until $109,000 breaks. And at that point, that's when we start seriously considering bearish claims. But at this point, we still have significant breathing room. $109,000 is not only relevant from what I've drawn in right now, but if we zoom it right back, you can see it's also relevant from what we saw back here at the end of 2024 and the start of 2025. It's a major resistance zone, major neckline of resistance that we've broken. We've flipped as well. So lots of support coming from that region. Clear volume profile dip on the visible range volume profile in that region specifically. It's a crevice in the volume profile. It attracts the price action down to it for liquidity grabs. It's very normal for us to go down to that region on a macro perspective, just not so comfortable on a short-term perspective, and I'll tell you exactly why. If we zoom into the price action, we can see that from a more short-term perspective, let's go to a 2-hourly chart just so we can get these candles stretched out a bit more. From a short-term perspective, there was actually another important level, and it was 115,000.7, so 115,700. And that was a level that kind of was important neckline as well. It divided the kind of bullish parts of this range from the bearish parts of this range. And unfortunately, that level, has broken to the downside with short-term resistance support flips. That's not really good at all. In fact, that was the topic of yesterday's video. I said that level probably needed to hold for Bitcoin to have chances of attacking major resistance in the coming week. And what I said was, and I stand by this, if we're above 115,000, if we're above the red line, we are looking upwards. If we're below the red line, we're looking downwards. When I say looking upwards, I'm looking downwards. I'm not saying that, we're super, super bullish if we're above it, we're super, super bearish if we're below it. No, I'm saying that this line right here at 115 divides the range, right? The top of the range is at about 125,000. The bottom of the range, as I said, is about 109,000. 115 divides the range into the bearish segment and the bullish segment. So on an inter-range local level, we have now flipped into what I'm calling the bearish segment of the range, and we're looking downwards for support and basically praying that it holds. That's what we're doing right now. Not very good. That's not a strong position to be in, right? And that's part of the reason I de-risked a little bit. I don't like holding in positions like this. And this, combined with the fact that we do have, unfortunately, what looks like this yellow line looking to break downwards and the 50 SMA looking to break downwards as well, again, it's just not a comfortable position to be in. Now, we could open the charts tomorrow and see that this was one big fake out liquidity grab and we're back where we need to be. Awesome, sick, get back in, everything's great. But right now we are just in an uncomfortable position on a short-term basis from both a wedge perspective, a moving average perspective, and from a inter-range analysis perspective. What we have not seen, just to clarify, is an actual proper macro breakdown. There are no macro breakdowns here. The macro analysis have not changed at this point. From a macro perspective, we still have a couple of months left in a regular 4-year cycle. It is still a little bit too early for a cyclical top, and for that reason, I would assume the top is not in yet. If we're looking at Bitcoin from a macro perspective in terms of structure, we look at this channel formation here, this logarithmic regression channel, where the angle of ascension between tops and bottoms is halving each cycle. We extrapolate that halving trend forward and we see resistance at $125,000 cross-validated by Bitcoin's power law chart, showing resistance at $125,000 as well, which is held for 18 months straight. So very clearly there is resistance at 125. And in my view, and what I've said literally, by the way, for 11 months straight, I made my first video about this in September 2024. I've said for 11 months straight, the worst case scenario 4-year cycle top for Bitcoin will probably be $130,000 in October 2025. And that's because, $130,000 is where this logarithmic regression channel will reach in October 2025, which is when the cyclical time frame comes in. That's the cyclical deadline. So I do still think there is upside potential, even if it's only a small amount. And I do still think that even a small amount of upside potential on Bitcoin could lead to dramatic Ethereum and potentially altcoin performance to the upside, as we've seen even in the last, 4 months. Since April, Bitcoin's up 70%, while Ethereum is up, 250%. So that shows you can see altcoins and Ethereum move massively, while Bitcoin doesn't really do too much. So I don't think we have the macro evidence to say, it's all gone, it's all over. And by the way, even when we're discussing this short-term weakness, we have to keep in mind what I said at the start of the video. It's not even bloody confirmed yet. It's like, we're not seeing what we want to be seeing. I de-risked a lot of that was for personal reasons, but if we're looking at this from a short-term level even, these indicators haven't even broke down yet on the daily chart. So this all could be one big facade. And that's something that we need to consider as well. And that's something we'll know basically by tomorrow. So I'll certainly update you on that. The unfortunate part of this is that this short-term weakness or alleged short-term weakness is having an effect on Ethereum. Ethereum is pressing against its all-time high and it's taken a pretty big hit during this Bitcoin downwards move. The Ethereum BTC chart has done the same. It's facing pretty significant resistance in yellow, going right backwards from 2022 right there. And this shows us something quite clear. Everyone knows, you should know, I certainly know, and the people on this channel certainly know, that we are in an Ethereum season right now. Ethereum is dominating the market. It's doing much better than everything else. But even though we're in an Ethereum season, Bitcoin is still leading, okay? And that's true constantly. Bitcoin still leads the way. Bitcoin gives Ethereum and altcoins the opportunity to outperform, but if Bitcoin pulls back, you're going to see Ethereum and altcoins follow in most circumstances. So that's something really important to note as well. This short-term weakness on Bitcoin is not just Bitcoin isolated. It also is, unfortunately, Ethereum and altcoin weakness. The USDT dominance chart is another chart I would like to look at a little bit. Reverse correlated to Bitcoin, finding support there on a local level, not a very good sign. And that's something we'll discuss a little bit more in a future video if this breakdown on a local level is actually confirmed. It looks like even as we discuss this right now, Bitcoin is having another attempt at breaking upwards on a local level. Hopefully one of these attempts succeeds, and hopefully this whole thing can be labeled one big fake out by tomorrow. That would be great. But right now, a little bit of short-term weakness seems to be forming, and that's something we need to monitor very closely. Macro is still great. Macro still looks good. Macro will still look good as long as we're above 109,000. 109,000 really is the level that needs to hold. All of this is actually just short-term noise, but short-term noise that I think should be taken seriously because, again, short-term price action leads to long-term price action. And we don't have much time left in the cycle, and we honestly can't really afford too many delays right now, especially if we want Bitcoin to have a chance of going higher than 130,000. So let's see. Thank you for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, please check out the Bitunix Exchange. A lot of people ask me what exchange I use as a trader. I use the Bitunix Exchange, and I don't have a contract with them. I haven't signed anything with them. I don't work for them. I advertise them on my own accord. With my referral link down below, you can get a 15% trading fee discount permanently attached to your account, as well as up to 8,000 USDT in rewards just by signing up with my link down below. Why would you sign up? Well, it's global. It's non-KYC. It's never been hacked before. It's got all of the functions and pairs that you would expect for a major exchange. For that reason, I use it. And I implore you to consider using it as well. Sign up with my link to help out the channel, help out yourself. Cheers.